Why are pawn structures crucial in minor piece chess endgames? Imagine trying to build a fortress with only a few bricks left. The way you arrange those bricks can make or break your defense. In chess, especially in minor piece endgames, pawn structures are just like those bricks. They shape the entire game. When only bishops and knights remains, how your pawns are set up can decide who has the upper hand. Let's think about what pawn structure really means. It's how your pawns are placed on the board. You might have isolated pawns which stand alone without neighbors, or doubled pawns, two of your pawns stacked on the same file. There are backward pawns that lag behind others and can't move forward safely. And pawn chains, where pawns connect diagonally, protecting each other. These formations aren't just random. They influence how your minor pieces can move and attack. Why do they matter so much in minor piece endgames? First, control of key squares depends on pawn placement. For example, bishops need open diagonals, but if pawns block those lines, their power is limited. Knights love outposts, squares protected by pawns where they can sit safely and attack. If your pawn structure creates or blocks these outposts, it can change the game. Next, pawn structure affects how freely your minor pieces can move. Locked or closed pawn formations can restrict bishops, making them less active. Knights, on the other hand, thrive in these positions because they can hop over pawns and jump into strong outposts. Open pawn structures give bishops room to operate from a distance, controlling many squares and putting pressure on your opponent. Weaknesses in pawn structure also create targets. Isolated or backward pawns are vulnerable and can be attacked by minor pieces. If you have fewer weaknesses, your position becomes more solid, making it harder for your opponent to find attacking chances. Plus, pawn formations influence the potential for pawn promotion. Passed pawns, those with no opposing pawns blocking their way, are powerful in the endgame. Minor pieces can support these pawns or try to stop your opponent's passed pawns, depending on how the pawns are arranged. In practice, if you have bishops, aim for open pawn structures that let your diagonals shine. Avoid locking your pawns in front of your bishops. For knights, closed or locked structures can be good because they can maneuver around pawns and occupy strong outposts. Always look for weak pawns in your opponent's structure, like isolated or backward ones, to gain material or positional advantages. Use your pawns to control important squares that support your minor pieces, especially to establish outposts for knights or open lines for bishops. Planning pawn breaks at the right moment can open lines or diagonals, boosting your minor pieces' activity. In the end, pawn structures are the foundation of your strategic plan. They influence how active your bishops and knights can be, where you can place your pieces, and how you can create threats. Mastering pawn formations helps you make the most of your minor pieces and increases your chances of winning in the endgame.